I wanted to walk you through an invoicing and budgeting board that I set up. I think this is a very common use case, and it can be something that really could be used for a lot of different companies because obviously everyone needs to track their budget and their invoices. So the way that this is set up is there's two different boards. I'm going to start with the invoice board. On the invoice board, you can see that each invoice is entered. Here, obviously, everything is divided by month, but it can be divided differently if you want. So each item is entered. There's a status. Now there's an amount. This company works. This board, sorry, works with different currencies. So you can see that each thing is marked as the currency. Everything has a type, like what type of expense is it? I'm going to skip these for a minute. I'll get back to them. And then obviously we have invoice number, date, payment method. You can add whatever, if you want the invoice address or whatever other information you need. Now, there's a few important things to note here. Number one is the currency. So for this board, there's different currencies. So you'll see that in this amount column, there's no currency marked, but it is marked in this status column. However, for the budgeting board, everything needs to be in dollars. So what was set up here is a total when everything is converted to dollars. So what you will see is if you go to this first item, it's 100 shekels and it's converted to dollars. So if I would just change this, let's say back to dollars, it would go to 100 shekels. Or if I would change this to dollars or back and forth, so you can easily change them and the formula will automatically update. Now, what's so cool about this board is that this connects to the budgeting board automatically. So the only thing that I needed to do, obviously I had to set up some automations to connect it, but if you look at it, it's one simple automation to connect it. Now, the important thing to note is that I need to mark each category, each item with the category that it needs to go into. Now, this category is connected to the budgeting board. So what happens if I create an item and I mark it as, let's just say, R&D? So it's going to come into this board. And here on the budgeting board, you'll see that we have all COG invoices, R&D, G&A, and these are totals of everything. So what you can see on this board is I set up the budget. Here's my overall budget that I want to spend, and here's my actual spend. Now, this actual spend is a total of all of the invoices that is pulled in from the other board. It also tells me, this is another formula column that tells me if I'm under budget or over budget, and tells me how much money I have left over, which is kind of nice if you just want to know a summary. Now you can see I spoke about the linked column. So this is the linked column. It basically pulls in all the information that was marked with this specific type. So you don't really need to look at these columns. You only need it in order for this whole thing to work. So this also can be set up. I set it up in monthly. You can also set it up quarterly, annually, and it's just a really easy way to keep track of your invoices and your budget.